Salve, Kuragis Hodie, Agosum Bene. Hodie, we are on Book 6 of Lucan's Pharsalia, Lesson 6b, lines 527 to 532, and we're still talking about Erictho, Agnoskatemi, Mecanes Latrant. Mecanes Latrant. It's their breakfast time, so they're going to bark a little bit. Okay, so here we have Omne nefas superi. There they go. Omne nefas superi prima iam voce precantis concedunt carmenque timent audire secundum. Poor reading, I apologize. I haven't looked at this in months. But we're going to look and see here. We've got, if we kind of try to figure out what we're reading without a huge breakdown, we've got something about everybody, everything being nephos, and nephos is a strange word. It's indeclinable neutered noun, so you kind of have to figure out where to put it. Superi could be a few things. It could be a singular genitive or a nominative plural. So let's keep going. Prima iam voce looks like an ablative phrase of some sort, and it is. Precantis is a little precarious. Looks like it could be genitive or of another form that we will get to in a minute. But this one is going to actually be genitive. And then concedunt. Ding, ding, ding. And timent. Both of those tell us that our subject must be plural. So that leads our eyes back to superi as the plural nominative, and you would be correct. So superi refers to something above, the gods above. That's what we've been talking about all along. The gods above, both concedunt and timent. So they concedunt, grant or give in to, concede to. So what is it that they concede to? Every nefas. Okay. Every crime. Prima iam voce with the first voice. So you've got your ablative of means. And then I say precantis is genitive, singular, refers back to Erictho. So of her prayers or supplications. I don't know that that's what we'd call them, but to me it would seem more like a demand. Okay. And then they fear to hear, or they're afraid to hear. They fear hearing. You can go ahead and make that Englishified. What do they fear hearing? The second song or chant or curse, whatever. So we've got the gods above, grant every crime with the first voice of praying, and, see the que, they fear hearing the second charm. Viventis animas et adux sua membra regentis, infodit pusto. I'm going to keep going on this. Fatis debentibus annos morsin vita subit. So now you can see very clearly that we have a change of subject. Up here the subject had to be plural. Here our verb is singular. So we have a change in subject. Now let's break this into two sections because we have another change of subject here. In this one the subject's not expressed, right? Viventis animas et adux sua membra regentis infodit pusto. There's no expressed subject. But we've already been talking about Erictho all the way through, so they have, Lucan, I don't know why I was saying they, Lucan has made her the subject of this sentence with infodit. What does infodit mean? And what is it that we're looking to infodit to? All right. So animas is a good plural accusative in the feminine, but membra is also a good plural accusative in the neuter. So we're acting out on these two things. Infodit is to bury, so she buries the spirits, right? And the membra, the limbs, right? So this viventis could be questionable. Let's go look it up, as I have already done for us. We know it's from Wiwo, or hopefully we do. There are options, and we should know this just by looking at the form. It's going to be a present active participle. Is it genitive, singular, or accusative plural? When we pull up the paradigm, let's go and scroll on down here to the participle forms. Because you know it's a present, it's built on the third declension adjective endings with that in there for present. That's not why it's there, but that's where we get it. And you know the endings. So the controversial concern here is that normally with a plural accusative, we would see viventes with that long E. But Lucan likes to use this first one, alternative, viventis. Why? I don't know, but he does, and he does it often. So the living spirits is how this would be taken. Oops, I apologize for that. So she buries living spirits, and they are still regentes. Regentes would be from rego, regre, rexi, rectus, present active participle. He's doing the same thing with that alternative accusative ending with that is. And these living spirits who are regentes. So this regentes modifies animas, not sua membra. This is neuter. So she buries the spirits that are still living and controlling or still controlling their limbs. So they're still alive and still moving, right? Where? An ablative of where? Busto in the tomb. So now we have another change in subject. This time we know it's a change because mors in vita is an expressed nominative subject. So mors in vita, subit, takes them, while fates still owe them years. So this fatis deventibus is your ablative absolute, and I would take that to be maybe temporal. That's why I said while the fates are still owing, still owe. What do they owe to these living bodies? Years or time. They still owe them life, time alive, right? So she brings back the bodies here, funera. This can mean the funeral, or it's kind of metaphorically referring to the corpses. So she brings back the corpses with her perverse rituals, your ablative of means there. She brings them back so that they could escape, fugere. letum, death. They escaped death. So here's the thing. Fugere is what word? How do you parse that? From fugio, fugere, fugit. I'm sorry, fugitum. Fugere has a long E, whereas the infinitive from fugio is a short E, it's a third declension. So that macron tells you that something's wonky here because it's a third plural. Perfect, indicative active, syncopated perfect verb. So so that the bodies escape death. So altogether, the gods above grant every crime with the first voice of prayers, of praying, and they fear hearing a second incantation. She buries spirits still living or living spirits, and they are still in controlling their limbs. She buries them in a tomb, while the fates still owe them years. Reluctant death takes them. She returned the bodies from the tomb. She brings back the bodies from the tomb. So they're just sort of, I guess, on the brink of death. So they've still got a spirit in there. They haven't been fully sent over to the other side. She brings them back with perverse rituals, and so that you sort of got kind of a purpose clause here, so that the bodies fled from or escaped death. But fugere is an indicative verb, so that would be not necessarily a technical purpose clause, but that's how it's read here. If you have any questions about this, please let me know. You can send me an email at magistrarelia@gmail.com or pop your question down in the comments. Gracias, Tiago, et vuole.